you give me, we can put your email in, and it'll send you the export code from Huddle. So if you would like that, you can do it. And I'll be honest with you, we made the install for you guys because ours are made up and they're kind of week by week. So I put them in for you, and I hadn't done them for our players because we just rep them so much that they know what they are. They don't see them on paper as much. So stunts, blitzes, just go through what I have, and okay, I'll go through what I have. So I'll be honest with you. When I was putting this one together, I was trying to think of when did we blitz. Now Kurt calls it every week. We game plan. Here are the fronts we're going to do. We're going to stop these plays, and then in case if we need them, what are the stunts we're going to do? We just do a handful of stunts. What are the stunts blitzes that we're going to do to disrupt? And when I started thinking of all the ones we do, because we spend a lot of time repping those, it takes time and timing to get all those the line stunts down, and there's lots of drills we do with it. But I started looking through the game film. It's like we didn't do nearly as much as I thought. Every once in a while, I get to a play and I look at our linebackers because you talked about him making those reads. Like, oh, there's a blitz. Oh no, it wasn't a blitz. They got their read and they flew. They attacked. I think we just have the attacking mentality, and we don't blitz, but we don't really stunt and blitz as much as you might think. Part of it, if you remember in one of the offensive presentations, you saw that the team Clarkston, known for doing a lot of blitzing. Well, they over-penetrate, they get into that, across that black hole, and we can trap them and we can take advantage of that. And I don't think we do that as much because we don't rely as much on stunts and blitzes. So I guess a little bit, maybe you don't have to do it. And this was from 15 years ago when I coached. I was a blitzing and stunning team, and I think I'm seeing what Kurt's doing, and I'm agreeing that you're backing off of that a little bit. But we do it, I think, to kind of keep the offensive line off balance. If things aren't going well, if they're starting getting into us, and we've got to move those little guys, let's move the little guys, and we'll get them to disrupt things. We want to change a little bit of a change of pace to give the potential for a bigger play, to make something happen in the backfield on run plays. Or I think we use it especially in pass rush situations. And like I said, personnel groupings. If we're going to do some blitzing, I'm bringing in different personnel to do our pass stunts, okay, pass rush blitzes and stunts. So, you agree with that? It's largely why
we do those things? Usually we only blitz as if we're not stopping them in our base defense, or we will blitz actually early in the game more than we do late, just to send a message to the quarterback of, you better be ready because this could come at any time. And because of the 3-4 of the offensive line, it's pretty tough for pass protection to know who's coming and who isn't. And if it's a no-huddle team, we always are. First thing, if you hit 3 plays in a row on us and you're going up-tempo, we will blitz you then just to change the tempo of your offense. That's the only other time we would do it.
And I think from an offensive standpoint, we play a team, and later when I do play action pass or pass and screen, we play a team that 3rd and long, guaranteed blitz. We knew they were coming, and we're hitting the short drags for first downs. We're throwing a 3-yard pass that's picking up 8-10 yards. Because we know that here comes a backer, and just replace them, and eventually they either have to stop the blitzing, which, but we don't have time to pass protect, for 4 seconds for that deep down the field. So, when and playing these guys, it would be hard. You might say, like Tom said, oh, they blitz quite a bit. No, those are just their reads. You're not giving tendencies, to an offensive coordinator.
Just to review the fronts, obviously this is our base, and our nickel looks it's pretty much the same from my standpoint as a defensive line coach. We'll replace the Sam with basically another bandit, strong safety like athlete. And typically we'll probably put them in a 5 technique on a nickel because we're more likely expecting a pass. And then we have under. We can get it under a couple different ways with our 30 personnel or with a bigger guy. We'll actually use under a fair amount too, even against no tight ends. We'll do it to bring our sack attack group or our pass rush, because we can do more games with 4D linemen. We can do some twists and some things, and I'll show you those quickly. So the first thing we have, this is probably the line set that we do the most, just a slant and an angle. Slant is S, it's to the strength, and angle is with an A, it's away from the strength. That's just what it is. And it is a gap stunt, and for our guys, they're aiming at the hip of the lineman to the direction they're slanting to or angling to. It's the same thing. And I teach them a 45-degree step, and that's where those crosses on the line are helpful. 45-degree step, aim right at that hip of that guy and get penetration into that gap. Do not over-penetrate. Okay, you saw on that goalpost, that's what I was working on. They're watching that guy's hip. If that guy's hip goes away, we're getting in the hip pocket. If he comes back this way, okay, we're fighting back to follow him where he's going. So we're trying to really focus in on our small target. On the strong side, in the direction we're slanting to, we will stem over. Actually, go ahead. No. We're actually kind of stem over just into a 5 technique and just to penetrate. We're not going to really slant out into here. So we're slant towards that strength. So the end, or this actually shouldn't be. That should be an end there. But you can see how, again, slant and angle, they're just going in those gaps. A slam and attack, and I don't think, did we use this much this year? We talked about it a lot, we practiced it. But this is just a little bit flatter stunt into the face of the lineman. I think you would do this, when do you try to do this? Against a trapping team and teams that so you want to come flat down the line?
Really, like, these are just good change-up. If you have a really good offensive line, and I know that I'm like working this direction and that guy slants in here a lot, they kind of can combo block. If we go at their face, where we actually go a gap behind them, now they go here, all of a sudden the guy goes by them and they're like, whoa, I missed him, up, the linebacker's gone. So that's kind of when we would do.
And the only difference is the aiming point. The aiming point is on the nose. We're going to do a nice slide step and ripping across right into his face. Again, it's going to help. I think we have to keep those linebackers clean. We get into that guy's face, we can prevent him from getting a linebacker, and the guy that's trying to block us is also, we're almost forcing double teams and taking out 2 guys, keeping those linebackers free. So again, slam is just to the face of the lineman, attack is away from, to the strength. Slam is to the strength, attack is away from it. So those are the, basically the 2 just line games that we're going to do. We also have stab, which is essentially a pinch, but the nose will go towards the strength. Okay, so the ends are going to pinch into the B gap again, aim, at that, at the hip of that guy and hip of the guard. Okay, and the nose is going to go to the strength. Just you've probably done pinches or things like that before. That's what we do. Our jet pass rush is a pass rush, is what it is. And this is one where the black hole, we tell them don't worry about that. This is a pass rush. We are going to shoot through the gap. The nose, typically, if it's just jet, we'll have a 2-way go. Gets his choice, wherever way he can go. I think sometimes it's good to go to the side where the center's hand. Sometimes you can keep that where he's snapping with. Okay, at the snapping end, you can get an advantage perhaps on that side. But whatever he thinks he can get past the pass rush better, let him go. But again, the ends will take a C gap, but they're going to try to keep a contained rush is what they're going to do. All these stunts they'll kind of combine with some of our other ones when we bring linebackers and different things with it. So, out of probably our number 1 is actually lightning out of the 30. Thunder, actually I couldn't find too many examples this year of thunder. But they're combination ones. By the way, I should talk about names. They've got names that they've been using for a number of years, but it's interesting. We had families of names like thunder, lightning, they're like storm kind of themes. But eventually, what are we going to call this one? We just start letting the kids name things. So you see some goofy names and things. And then signals, it's fun just watch him signal different things or whatever. I don't always know what they are. But these are edge blitzes with a Sam and Bandit. And Thunder, I guess it's kind of, they think they come under. Thunder, that's how I remember it anyway. The Bandits shoot B gaps, the Ends shoot, are doing a jet. Basically doing a jet. And again, the nose has a two-way go. In Lightning, basically it's just the Ends shoot the B gaps, and the Sam and the Bandits are coming hard off the edge. Okay. Typically, we use this, I think, more in pass rush situations, but you could use it if you're getting. I suppose you might use this against a jet or different things where we're getting a lot outside. Yeah.
Would there be a change for Thunder if there would be a tight end?
I don't know. Would you use it with a tight end? No.
Nah, we don't typically do it too much with a tight end. If we called it, we call it. They run it.
Yeah. So.
It's not great.
Storm and Storm X. Okay. This is. Think of Storm. Our guys are going to slant the S. They're slanting to the strength, and then we have weak side backer blitz into the B and C gaps. Okay. So actually, I think these are mislabeled, aren't they? That's Storm X, and that's Storm, right? Yeah. So this, sorry, I got this wrong. This is, I should switch those. This one is Storm here. So what you're seeing is the end is jetting out here. Nose is taking the strong side A gap. Sometimes I think it helps to line up and shape one way and then cross his face just to get the center off. And then our end, this is what's different. The weak side end is going to come all the way down into the A gap. And this is where you might even get a little depth in both, actually, in those two. Nice flat step, rip down all the way into the A gap. He's got to get to the A gap and Storm here because the Will is shooting the B gap, and the Bandit's coming hard off the edge. Primary and secondary blitzers. Did you talk about that in that situation? Would you have that?
Typically, we that Thunder and Lightning, we do zone coverages, and they're the same as what we do our auto call. So when we bring 5, we're playing auto, which could be cover 2 shell. So it could be basically 4 under 2 deep. The formation will dictate whether it's 3 under 3 deep. When we bring these, we're usually a 6-man pressure. And I know when I say this, and this could be a whole clinic talk, but for my secondary guys, they'd be like, what? You play zone by blitzing 6? And we do. Something else we got from Michigan State, and really, really effective way to bring 6 guys and play zone still. But when we bring 6, our second linebacker is a blitzer, is a read blitzer. So like that Will, if he was getting outside zone or anything the opposite way, he does not blitz anymore. He aborts because there's no use just blitzing out the path. The first backer's going regardless.
Is this the Bandit always the first back?
Yeah.
So this is just a Storm X because they're changing responsible. There's an X between the Will and the Bandit. So you see, that's our Storm and Storm X. We ran that a few times this year. This is for me. This is the one to coach. You got to get them all the way down to the A gap and getting that penetration to clear the way for these guys. I do have a few plays. I'm going to try to make sure I got 5 minutes at the end just to show you a few of these. Blaze is probably the one we use the most, I think. Well, Lightning, then maybe Blaze. And we can do this out of both. So, we have jets on the outside. Okay, the ends take the jet and the C gap. And it's a double A gap blitz from the Mike and the Will. They're both shooting that. When we're in a 30 or nickel, they will give the nose guard a direction to go. We'll call Ripper Liz, and they'll tell him he's going to take B gap on one of those two. Okay, and we'll game plan, I guess, a little bit and tell him which gap it might be the better one to send them, but it doesn't really matter. Just go. We're trying to get pressure on the quarterback, so it's a double A gap blitz. When we're in under, it's a little bit more obvious. The nose guard, normally on one technique, probably will cheat out a little bit. If it's a smaller nose guard, my little guys can probably start in a one tech, get all the way here. But if I got one of our bigger guys, we'll just put them in a 2 technique, and they've got to get here. But it's again another double A gap blitz. And this is one that we bring a lot, and it creates a lot of pressure on the quarterback. We do this a little bit if we have to in a trap too. So chaos. This is one that our ends like, because remember these guys are former linebackers, perhaps. And Davion, this guy here, he had a bet. He said, "Coach, call chaos because if I get a pick six, you're buying me a steak dinner." And I said, "Sure, Davion, I'll buy you a steak dinner." But he kept begging for chaos because it's basically a zone blitz where we're basically the nickel back. We do it out of nickel a lot. And the bandit are coming hard off the edge. Mike and Will are shooting the B gaps, and the nose has got a two-way go here. And the ends are dropping into coverage. And when you talk about the coverage, you tell them to...
Well, and again, this is another one of our just auto coverages. So really, all of our zone blitzes, our whole secondary system is built to cover all this stuff, and it doesn't change what they normally do. We are giving up a zone underneath. And I know really showing these doesn't do it justice because there's a lot of teaching that goes into these. Like really these defensive ends and this, they will line up more head up in a 4 technique. And we teach them to step and throw your hands at the face mask of the tackle. If he comes at you, you're not in a great position, but you got to play run football. But if I do this at him, I'm occupying his eyes, and he's got a guy going inside him and outside of him, so he kind of freezes. And then I drop out, and by that time, he doesn't have a chance to react back to the edge blitz or the inside. So that's a little bit of a teaching point in that one.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, there's some games, and you'll typically call it in almost sure passing situations. Twist and pirate, I'm not sure the name of, twist makes sense. Pirate, there's some history of that one, I don't remember what it is, but they're similar. So in a twist, what happens is the nose is going to crowd, and this we usually do out of under. We always do out of under. Okay, so we have to have a 3-tech on that side. So I just drew it with a tackle there, but the nose is going to go first. He's going to cross the face to the center, ripping hard into that A gap, and the tackle as he's doing it. This is where it's usually best to take a slight, slide step, jab step, and then rip underneath. Shooting I tell them to find the leg where we're coming just right hard off of. I mean, oftentimes it might be this nose, this guard is coming down. He might be ripping right through here. The nose is trying to get penetration in here. It's a good one to stop trap, and we use it in combination with other ones. Now, pirate is basically the opposite of the twist. 3 technique is shooting really hard off the hip. We might combine it with a jet off with the ends if it's a pass rush situation. And again, we think personnel. If we're going to do some of this stuff, I'm not going to have some of the bigger guys that don't move so well. I'm going to bring in my small guys that have some speed, or I'm going to do it so that my big guy is this one doing this, and my small guy is the one that's coming around. So those are 2 that we do. Pirate doesn't make sense to me, but I think you had a whole series of blitzes you called pirate names, right, at one point? Yeah. Tornado, I think I got that drawn up, is a kind of another combination, going back to the storm theme. And again, you guys take pictures. I have these in an install. You can have them all. I don't have all the coverages you've drawn with it, though, so that's something that you have to figure that out. But this is just a combination of a twist, ends jetting, and the backers are taking the B gaps. Okay, so we're bringing pressure. So it's a twist with lots and lots of pressure. Okay, Texas is one that our guys liked a lot. We did it mostly out of under. We just didn't do it as much out of this. But again, it's a twist on both sides. Lots of what's happening here is on this side, the side with the nose, we've got the end is shooting hard into B gap, bringing immediate pressure, and nose is flashing hands and coming around. Maybe not even flashing hands, maybe just going fast. But we're trying to get. He's the contained rush. On the 3 technique side, the tackle is shooting hard right off the butt of that of this tackle, and he's trying to push it outside to keep it contained. And then the end is coming under. Sometimes we have to take a step, but honestly, I think it was better when we just cheated back a little bit and we just went right away and got there. There's a lot of times this guy is coming underneath here that's getting right in the face of the quarterback. Out of nickel, a little bit harder, and it's harder for me to coach. Coach Ryan is much better at that with working with the Sam backers, but what's going to happen with this end, he is going to be pushing hard up the field, and the Sam is looking to get a read on what is this tackle doing. Okay? So if the tackle is coming out to block him, kicking back and looking there, okay? Well, we've got him pushing up the field to be the contain. Now he's cutting right underneath him, right into the face of the quarterback. So he's basically, we're reading what's happening here with the tackle. If the tackle comes down to block him, okay, what might happen is the Sam's going to come free and it's coming right into the backfield. Now he might loop around to the outside too. So it's a read. It's a good one to rep, but it's we end up just going a lot with our under when we want to bring Texas type stunts. I didn't have it drawn up. We have Tex when we just did one side of it. So we have a few other things there. Torch. You want to talk about this one, Coach? Or let me. No, this is the last one I got in here. So
one thing that I know, you saw the drill where coaches, the quarterback and the inside defensive lineman have the upfield hip and then the outside guys. So just to get reps and landmarks, they'll run it. He'll call Texas. He'll call all these different twists just to make sure that the linemen are, and he'll start moving around and make sure that who has contained, who's the contained rusher, and who's the upfield pressure. So I think that's a way to get a lot of reps, make sure that they're just doing it right, you're going against air, and then putting the offensive line, scout in front of them.
I will say, if you zone blitz at all, we are always a 5-man zone blitz, because that's was taught fire zones. We are 6-man pressures a lot, and I would have never in the past ever thought you could do that, but we found that our 6-man pressures with zone coverage are actually probably the best things that we do from a pressure standpoint. So if you want later to talk about how we do that, I'll go over how we cover those things.
Yeah, just play with a few of the stunts in here. This first one is just, it's a slant. You can watch our linemen slanting towards the pressure. Okay, we play quick guys, so sometimes we can get some good things happen on a slant. I think this next one I label a slant, but it's actually angle. Oh no, where is it? Oh well, they're not in order. I'm just going to go through. This is a lightning that didn't work very well. See, ripping under, bandit coming. Well, you got to make a tackle. There's a slant. This is you can see a twist. You can see. If you look at, we are cheating our stances and our alignment a little bit to get in position. So we're crossing the face and he's looping underneath. That's Feltz, right? Herring. Not one of our faster guys. So. Here's chaos. You can watch at the end here and dropping back. This quarterback was better at running than passing. So. Here's a blaze.
You notice there's he almost snapped it before everybody else was ready. As an offensive lineman, and they start dancing, former O-lineman, oh man, they're slow off the ball. I think that kid might have snapped it early. Movement, makes the linemen start thinking, and we don't like our linemen to think.
Out of blaze, and we're in 30 here. I mean, we had a hard time sometimes getting our nose to get all the way into that B gap to clear space for him, but John does a decent job here. And obviously, we get some pressure.
If you pass rush them and an interception occurs, what do you want your defense to do more? Either go for the interception or go for a deflection.
Always interception. I want the ball.
Yeah, but isn't it?
And then, who are the two guys you have to block after an interception? Quarterback and the intended receiver. They make about 90% of the tackles.
So
Because the reason for that is if they got a pass, for example, near to the 10, and you got to intercept the ball, don't have a line to run, so it's a bad stand for your offense if they come on the field.
Our offense is that good.
Hey, let's go. Would you rather have your offense on the field at the 10 or your defense still on the field?
Okay.
Or your field goal line.
So this ago, you can see it. These are two running backs in here for our sack attack group there. So they enjoyed running on the field and being the blitzers. This is in Texas. You can see the twists on both sides. What? Oh.
You hadn't been mad.
We have a minute, right?
No, you haven't.
Okay.
Help you at the limit.
Okay. Here's another twist. And last year's guys were really good at this.
Okay.
There's a better lightning. Hmm? Yeah. Oops.
They did call it an interception, though. Just he fumbled it and then recovered it.
Yeah. Same play. It's nice too when if we can get your nose to bring the pressure. We didn't have Louis, our big tall nose at that time. Sometimes I like having him on pass rush. He was good at swimming. He gets his hands up. So another Texas. Yeah, a lot of times you can see it penetrating right there. Brings the pressure. This is
Problem without daylight.
I don't know. Let me see. Oh, that was it. So, I do not have the good one. We have a great one with our quarterback. His nose, he's on. I think.
I don't know if it was a
his
stunt.
nose. I think it was a stunt. I think on one of those lightnings come in and he kills their quarterback. So, I really like it when our quarterback kills their quarterback. It makes us feel good. So, if you have any questions afterwards, I'll be happy to share the install. It's got all the stunts so you can see them. I mean, Coach will be definitely better to talk about how the coverages match up with that. So, that's it.